You may think procrastination means you are lazy or you lack discipline. But what if this is a message from the deepest essence of your being? What if this is a message from life itself that you are going in the wrong direction? A sign that you are out of alignment with something far deeper than just goals or habits. In Vedanta, we call this Svadharma, your true purpose. And without this, even the strongest willpower breaks down. Swadharma is your natural purpose or duty that fits who you are inside. Swabhava is your core identity or nature, the personality shaped by your upbringing, society, and past karmic conditioning. Through the ancient wisdom of Vedanta and through our framework of conscious creation, we can see that if we simply investigate, inquire, and understand our core nature or identity, that is Swabhava, and then if we identify our purpose, which is Swadharma, then this energy and focus and concentration naturally emerges. Basically, when our identity and our purpose are in alignment, focus naturally emerges. By the end of this video, you will see 3 significant signs which will tell you that your purpose is missing, and you will also discover one important step that you can take today in order to move towards your ideal life of purpose, meaning, and abundance. All of this with absolute focus. But before we go there, let us look closely at why willpower alone often feels like rowing hard while the boat stays tied to the shore. Part 1 is about why willpower fails without purpose. Most people try to push through life by forcing themselves to act, using pure willpower as if that alone could keep them moving. We are told that the answer is more discipline. Wake up earlier, work longer, stay on track no matter what. But discipline without clarity and without deep inner reason is exhausting. What happens is when the mind cannot clearly see a reason to act, and when we push ourselves through willpower alone, that is when the willpower and our energy itself drains and we get stuck. Think of pulling hard on a boat that refuses to move. The reason is not lack of effort, it is that the rope is still tied to the shore. In Vedantic perspective, we can look at our Swabhava, our core nature or identity, as a rope that ties us to a certain place. Our nature, our identity, who we are today, whatever our personality is, it is a consequence of a lot of things. It is because of our parents, it is because of the societal conditioning, it is because of the education system, and more importantly, it is because of our past karma that we are the way we are. And all this have created a strong identity for ourselves. So first of all, before we understand purpose and focus, we need to uncover our Swabhava, our nature or our identity. And for us to finally move the boat, we need to understand that there is a rope and we need to untie that rope. Now, modern productivity methods often focus on pushing, the apps, the schedules, the strict routines. These can give a short burst of progress, but the heaviness always returns. That is why many personal development programs do not work, and they do not work for most people, because these teachings and these principles do not focus and they do not work on our deepest nature, our Swabhava. So the real problem here is not laziness, it is the absence of true inner purpose that makes action meaningful. Now before we go ahead, let us briefly understand a framework within conscious creation that we have at ACS. We have a particular map which will explain how reality is structured. As per Vedanta, first of all, there is the infinite consciousness, our true nature, which is beyond time, space, and causality, which is infinite power. But right now, we do not experience this. We experience a limited identity that we can call Swabhava, our core nature. And this is conditioned by karma. And then this identity gives rise to our bhava. Our bhava is our state of being. How we think and how we feel is our bhava. And through this bhava, we take different actions, which is again karma. Karma is nothing but actions. And these actions will in turn yield results in our lives in terms of our health, wealth, relationships, and inner peace. So, this is the map which will give you the overview. But then let us understand each component of this map to explore reality more clearly and to find solution to the problem of procrastination and focus. Here, a quick self-check for misalignment can be helpful. First, notice if tasks feel heavier than they should. Second, see if your willpower runs out quickly and your routines collapse. Third, ask yourself if you are experiencing restlessness always, even after changing jobs or careers. So, no matter what changes you make in the external world, you are not finding that fulfillment. So, this is an important sign which is showing you something. These are the signs that the rope may still be tied. When you are in touch with your Swadharma, that is your natural purpose, action stops feeling like a burden. Energy begins to flow from within, not from constant self-control. Now, for you to understand this simply, think of willpower as a small battery, a small cell which has a certain amount of power through which we can do things. But then, compared to this, our purpose or Swadharma is like an infinite nuclear power source which can generate infinite amount of energy for us, infinite focus for us, and infinite flow for us so that we can do different things in this world. A battery must be recharged. An endless power source gives energy without stopping. So Swadharma is that source. Your purpose is that infinite source. Now imagine that a professional who doesn't like his job is working there, and what the person is doing is totally in misalignment with who they are. And not just that, they have not even explored the deeper dimension of themselves. That is that consciousness that they are. Now in this scenario, there is an endless weight on their chest. There is endless resistance because of which they are always in stress. At the same time, if that person comes home and spends some time with their children, or if they spend some time painting or doing something that they actually love, which is in alignment with their nature, then that entire weight is lifted up. They become free, right? This is the power of purpose. But this takes us to an important question of who we think we are. So let's now come to the next part, which is discovering Swabhava. That is the mask we wear. Discovering your Swabhava or your identity is like holding up a mirror to see the mask you have been wearing all your life. From early childhood, we are shaped by family, culture, education, and even the patterns of past karma. We call it our Swabhava, right? Our identity. Now, masks are not harmful. They help us play a role in this world. But if we begin to believe that we are the mask itself and there is nothing beyond that, that is when we fall into a trap. That is when there is eternal struggle and stress and suffering. Now think of a child who hears repeatedly, you are nothing special, you cannot do anything, you can't do that, you can't do this. And over the years, that belief becomes part of their Swabhava, their identity. Even with real skills and talent, these limiting beliefs and this unconscious identity holds them back. This is what happens for most of us. So what we must realize is that beyond this mask, beyond these identifications and limiting beliefs and conditioning, we are the infinite consciousness. We are the infinite potential. There is infinity within us. And literally we can achieve anything if we simply tap into that. And if we just understand our identity clearly, if we understand that mask that we are wearing clearly, and if we understand who we are beneath the mask clearly, then our ideal life begins. This will lead to a life of purpose, meaning, and abundance. We have something called as conscious creation mantra within ACS, within our community. And that is this, Yad Bhavam Tad Bhavati, which is however we keep our state of being, such a kind of life we create for ourselves. But this bhava or state of being comes from Swabhava, that is identity. If your bhava is shaped by fear, doubt, or the urge to please everyone, you will resist change even when you deeply want it. This resistance often appears as procrastination. You may delay writing the book, starting the business, or improving your health not out of laziness, because these actions do not feel connected to the identity you are wearing. Because these actions do not feel purposeful. The reason is not strong enough. So what we need to do here is, we need to first of all understand our identity, our strengths, our weaknesses, our passions, our tendencies. We need to clearly understand them, which will help us understand our nature. And we should also begin exploring the dimension that is beneath that. That is the consciousness, that is the awareness, what we call the spirit or soul or consciousness. Different cultures use different words, but this is the infinite dimension that is within us. When these two things we begin to explore, we will discover our purpose. What are we supposed to do in this world? We will find a strong why, the reason for our being. And when we embrace that purpose and live it, that is when we go beyond willpower to that infinite source. So let's discuss that in the third part, that is Swabhava, the infinite power source. When your nature, that is your Swabhava, and your purpose, that is Swabhava, are in alignment, a quiet but complete shift takes place. The point where what you do outside matches who you are inside, and energy begins to flow without force. Most people do not explore this and will never discover their purpose because their goals are conditioned. They are unconscious creators. And whatever goals they have for themselves are coming from a place of superficiality. It is coming from their parents, from society, from the broken education system, and from their past karma. So in such cases, the outer work they do and the inner self pull against each other, creating inner conflict. And this misalignment drains prana, the life energy that powers thoughts, actions, and feelings. And when life energy runs low, you feel tired, distracted, and unmotivated, no matter how capable you are. When we truly find this alignment between our identity and our purpose, our bhava transforms, our state of being transforms, and a transformed state of being gives rise to a transformed life. In terms of health, wealth, relationships, inner peace, whatever we wish to achieve in this world, we will have the energy that is necessary to do it. We will have the focus and concentration that is necessary to achieve it. In practice, alignment begins with observation. Identify one activity that naturally increases your energy, something that when you finish, leaves you feeling lighter instead of drained. Then as an experiment, repeat it regularly and notice if other tasks also feel easier. This small test can help you find things that you are aligned with. So all you have to do to find focus and concentration is to align your work with your identity and also explore the deeper dimension within you, that is that infinite consciousness. Procrastination is a signal of misalignment. It shows you that your Swabhava, your Bhava, and your Swadharma are not working together. So the first step is to gently question the mask of Swabhava, your identity, and reconnect with your true nature, that is consciousness, so that your actions arise from your true purpose. From there, flow replaces force in daily life. And in the comments, let me know what one thing you're passionate about or you can easily do for hours and hours together without draining your energy. And next, check out this important video that we had made on conscious creation and the 4 pillars of conscious creation through which you can begin your journey towards your ideal life. Subscribe to Adhvaitha to wake up. Shivoham.